Hello and welcome. My name is Ramkiran Balal, and today my guest is a coach and a former athlete from Germany. He's right now training children in the age groups of 4 to 15 years as a physical education teacher in a school at Berlin. Welcome to the show, Tobias Klass. Welcome, Toby.
Welcome, Ram.
Very nice to see you after a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate that to be here with you.
How are things there in Germany? Is the situation better? Because in India, it's, well, not too good.
It's quite good. It's just wearing a mask and keep distance, but it's just coming back to normal life.
That's good. That's good. Everything is more or less back to normal, I guess.
Yeah. So they did some adaptations with you have some events that are in school. And some other events are online or on a live stream or digital, like in a learning room where you can just download the materials you need. So it's quite comfortable.
Yeah, here things are a little different, but hopefully things should get better soon. You've been an athlete, you are a coach now, and you traveled, you've been into India, you're in the US. It's just to get a perspective of training, what a coach does, in his career, how he trains children especially, what are the methods and modalities that are done in Europe as compared to, say, India. India is still catching up in this whole sports fitness kind of scenario here. Just to have a discussion on these kind of things, try to see where you're coming from and what to see if you can get some inputs from your side as to what happens in Germany, how the whole situation goes there in terms of training children. Let me start here. You were born in East Germany, right?
Yeah.
What I heard is at the age of 4, you were selected for the long-term athlete development in gymnastics, if I'm not wrong at that point.
Yeah.
And I think they found out that there was some method where they thought that you are going to be taller for this particular sport as you grow older, and for which you couldn't participate in that. And also your mom was not too keen on you joining it in any case. So obviously your methodologies of training and the whole process was very different. So you were a product of that. So
it was just like a different time, as you can say, because East Germany was just proud of their athletes, and they tried to keep a small nation. There were just 17 million inhabitants, so quite small, like Netherlands or other countries like maybe Denmark, Norway. They have a lot less, but just like a small country, and in comparison to China, Russia, the US, or especially India. And so they founded a system to find their best athletes and to have a long-term development and what is the best, how to handle the situation. Just like, okay, you're looking at your athletes or your young athletes, and you start as early as possible, like at the age of 4. And then you go to the parents, or you go to school or to the kindergarten, and then I make a decision. I want to have the best kids from the kindergarten to be in a special program. And then they have a catalog. They developed like a catalog with different exercises.
Yes.
And then you have to perform the exercise. And then they say, he's good in gymnastics. He's good maybe later in cycling or something like that. And then they do some stuff about your height, your body height, and what's going on in the future about the body height. Maybe, they said 1.75 meters is just like the limit of being a good gymnastic athlete.
Right.
And then they said, it seems to be that he's going to be taller, taller than 175. And they said, oh no, maybe we can assume that he would never be the best, in the world. And they
not necessarily a medal-winning athlete, probably.
Yeah. Right. Especially in the Olympics, not World Championships. They're looking for Olympian athletes, like Olympian disciplines, like gymnastics, track and field.
The process was, to identify identify talents at a very young age, and then kind of develop them from that stage onwards. There's something very interesting that you said, if I remember. You said they had something like a knuckle method, of measuring your future height. What exactly was that? I mean, today you have a lot of other measurements also, I guess, where they take the mean of the two parents' heights and, doubling your age from age 2, so many things. But what was this knuckle method? This is something I've never heard about.
Yeah, it's about like that the doctor just make like an X-ray picture of your hand. And then because of the age of your bones, they can just like to say what is the future height. So that's one of the exact methods you can have, but it's just like it should be identified by a doctor. With the parents, it's just like an kind of average,
right?
But if you go to the doctor and then he's specialized maybe in this method, then he can say, okay, he will be taller than 175, and that he's too tall for being an elite athlete, and it was back in 1982. It's a long time ago,
right.
But now you can see Olympian gold medalist winners, they are taller, they are 180 or something, but just in one special discipline, like the what is it called, the bar, not the parallel bar, the single bar.
Got it. Yeah.
So
awesome.
You can see some adaptations, and some process, what happens in these different disciplines.
Right.
And after the wall came down, then the whole system broke down, And my mother, she was by herself an elite athlete in gymnastics, and she knew what it meant to be in this kind of special program. Your childhood is eliminated.
Absolutely. That's a interesting point you made. You said your mother was not too happy that you continue with that because she knew what it takes to, So tell me something about her. She was also into sports, or?
She was more deeper in this kind of system. She was born in 1952, and then she was in the team of 1968. The Olympics took place in Mexico City, and she was in the team, in the gymnastics.
Gymnastics?
Gymnastics of the
So
GDR.
she was an Olympian.
Yeah, she was a kind of Olympian. She couldn't make it to the Olympics because her cardiovascular system was too weak, because sometimes she she was out of consciousness. Yeah, because of the hard training, and then they decided, okay, she's really good, but she cannot stand the hard training.
Right.
And then they decided, you're not in the team any longer.
So this happened when she had already been selected for the 68 Mexico Olympics.
Yeah, she was selected for the team, and then later she couldn't make the whole process, to being part of the team. And there were several reasons why, and it was the whole pressure you have in this kind of team, and the training and at home. There are several factors, and so in the Germany, the system was like, I have so many kids, I have so many athletes, and then the 8 athletes that survive, my training, they will win a medal. It was kind of like this. It was not about individualism.
Yes. It must have been quite grueling then, the whole training routine, right?
Yeah. And then for the athletes, it was like a big motivation, because you could escape a little bit out of this socialism system.
Right.
You could visit Western countries.
Yes.
And go to Mexico, go to the US. There was a big motivation, but you cannot copy.
Yeah, interesting. So so you're having a parent who is in sport, it must have made a difference to your career as a coach and as an athlete at that time. Did it help with your mom being in sport? It would have been a lot more easier for you to say, go through your journey does it help when a parent is involved in sport for a child to take it up more easily?
Yeah, definitely yes. Because my grandfather was also in sports. He was a rower. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
he
mm-hmm,
was in rowing,
mm-hmm.
like another big discipline or sports in the GDR. So it helped a lot because you grew up like watching sport, knowing about sports and knowing about different
Right.
disciplines, and you were just motivated by your parents, grandparents
Yes,
to
yes.
do sports as well. It makes, I think, a huge difference
Absolutely.
in
I
just
guess
like
so.
growing up in
Yes.
this kind of environment. The whole system was like focused on sports, the GDR, my parents, my grandparents, and it
Wow.
was like, yeah, it was
There's a
good.
whole lineage of sports in your family. So
Yeah,
was this typical only for you, or you think there were a lot of kids at that time in Germany who had their parents or grandparents, participating in sports? I think it was a way of life in those days,
yeah,
right?
yeah, right. That's correct, Ram. So
Yeah.
because in Germany was the whole life was focused on sports because you could see that at the university, in school, and it was also a major point in the life of the GDR because my sister, for example, she was also selected for sport,
Uh-huh.
and but then she realized, okay, she's not into sports, but
Right.
she was first point she was selected,
Yes. Yes.
for bobsledding and later for swimming. But she was not interested in sports,
Right.
And
Right.
then as she grew up and she get older, she said, "Oh no, I don't want to do that." And then she learned the trumpet, like
Mhm.
a music
The
instrument.
music, yeah. That's really wonderful.
Yeah,
So you see, you also played football. You played football for a couple of seasons, and you realized that wasn't meant for you. You were not cut out for football. How did you understand or decide that, yeah, football is not for me? Let me go on to another sport. Because see, I'll tell you where I'm coming from. Here in India, parents are very confused as to, first of all, they're not even sure if the kids should play sport, and if they're playing sport, they don't know, what sport do they have to pursue in. And then if a child loses interest, then they don't know what to do. The child doesn't do anything for the next so many years, and they've lost that whole period of 4 5 years, right? How does it happen that you were a gymnast, then you went on to play football, then yeah, you obviously went on to get into track and field after that. So was this a coach identifying it, or was it your own understanding of your body making movements and saying that this is not meant for me?
yeah, it was kind of like another decision. It was like I tried it because some coaches told me, "Oh, yeah, try football. It's a good sport. You have team spirit and stuff like that." And I said,
Mm.
"Oh, yeah, it sounds good." And I met a lot of good friends, and but then I realized by myself. I realized by myself during the season. So I scored a couple of goals,
Uh-huh.
but we lost as a team,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
my performance was good,
Yeah.
or maybe better than the others, and
Yeah.
but we lost. So, and it
Exactly.
was not like satisfying for me to
Yeah.
be a good player in a team. Maybe I should have switched the team, or go to another club or something like that. But then I decided, oh no, I don't want that team sport thing.
Yeah. You
And then
got
I
on a more
decided to be
individual. Yeah.
individual sport. That's what I did before. I was a gymnast athlete, and then I was into team sport, and then I decided, oh no, it's not this kind of what do I want to do. So I said, I want to win by myself. I want to lose by myself. So, and then
Yeah.
I'm responsible for my performance on my
Absolutely.
own, not to blame another one. To say,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
because of you we lost. No, it's just like
Yeah. It's your
me by
good, you're
myself.
bad.
Yeah. So, and then I decided to go back to track and field because one of my teachers in school there, he said, "Okay, Toby, try pole vault or try something like that because you are a former gymnast athlete, you are fast." and then try pole vault jumping,
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, sounds good. And then, so I got into track and field.
And that's when you realize you're good at throwing, and then you got into javelin, and you did reasonably well there. You won several championships. You were there in the German national team. Was that your strength?
Yeah. So back in the GDR, there were a couple of like championships with the school, and then I did pretty well in throwing balls. And then I decided, okay, I'm not that fast as to be good in pole vault jumping. And then I tried, okay, try maybe throwing something. And then I decided for throwing the javelin. And I tried it, and it was not bad. So, and I joined the team where the national coach or national men's coach, he were in Karlsruhe, where I lived at that moment. And then I decided, maybe I can join the team. And he said, oh yeah, you can come over and have some testing sessions where we can see if it's good or not. And then he said, okay, you can be here. And then it was awesome to be in a team of 4. There was one older man, then older women, and one of my best friends in life I met over there. He was the same age, and we are still friends. And it was a very good experience to be there in this kind of environment with the javelin throwing coach. I won several regional championships, and I trained like this long development plan. And it was pretty tough. But
so how old were you when you got into javelin?
I was 17.
Oh, not bad.
17.
So you've gone through this whole thing between gymnastics, football, and then javelin in the first 17 years of your life. That's the way. I mean, that's typically what you see any of the athletes. They do that. They play multiple sport, and then then they just kind of zero in on one particular towards when they're 13, 14 years of age. So coming back to your javelin, you I think got injured probably after that, and then you had to quit, I guess.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I thought I'm invincible, because I was young and I was strong. And then if you're young, you think, oh, nothing can stop me, and I can do things and things will happen, And then after a while, because the pressure, what you have on your joints, on your bones, on your muscles, what you have over the years, it's just like a matter of time. When you got injured.
Yes.
It's just normal.
Absolutely.
Especially in javelin, because the human being is not made for like throwing things in
that
this kind of way.
That kind of
Because there's a lot of force that is on your body. And I just got injured on like a slip disc on my back.
Oh, okay.
And like a hernia surgery, what I have twice.
Wow.
So then I decided, okay, to quit, because this is not like what I can do later as a job,
Yes.
It's not like playing football, you earn a lot of money.
Absolutely.
It's just like to be in, and you have to make the best out of it. But it's pretty difficult because you earn not a lot of money. That's why I decided to quit, and then I said, okay, what can I do with my experience,
Yeah, that's when you decided to become a coach, and then you got into Olympic weightlifting, certified yourself as a Olympic weightlifting.
Right after that, so I began my study, so in sports science.
Yes.
And so it came up with, okay, what can I do? And I decided for studying my major subject in training and performance, what was focused on this coaching career.
Right.
And that's why that's what I intensified during my study. I focused on going to congresses, going to just like coach educations, doing stuff like that, just to intensify this career path. Yes.
You said schools were very sports oriented in East Germany. I think it was called German Democratic Republic, like GDR. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and sports was a mandatory in during that time, and the whole system was looking for future athletes, who can represent East Germany, GDR in the Olympics, and
Yeah.
the whole process was like
Yeah.
that. What was that a little like? I mean, it was the entire country like that? It was every child had to go through a particular process, or they had to kind of get into a few disciplines in sport?
Yeah, it was like that. Any child was selected for a kind of discipline. Like what I said with what happened with my sister. She was selected,
Yes.
and she was not really interested in sport. But at the first place, she was like selected for discipline, and then to see what's going on with the kid or with the child, and maybe she's otherwise interested or not. Okay, it was like, okay, I select any kid, and then I can see what's going on. If she or he interested in sports, can we develop him or her to being a future athlete? And maybe not, but I tried it with any kid, and to bring them into this kind of system. And if it's not happening, I'm also doing it at the university. That's what my father told me, because at the university you should have done like disciplines. And also if you're just like studying music or geography or another subject, it was also mandatory to do sports, to show that you keep you fit, that you stay healthy, just that you have an access to sport. It was not like, oh no, do what you want. And the government was looking that all people as well, the students at the university, they're not studying sport, they're doing sport.
Right. Yeah. So it's now been what, about 25, 30 years from that point. You're a coach now, you're in a school. You have seen two different sides of Germany. What do you think are the positives and negatives of having a system like that? Do you think a little like China is doing a little like that presently, or was it very different from that?
Yes.
Did it have any positive side to it or negative side to it? Positive side, we all know. I mean, East Germany was number 2 in the Olympics, if I remember right, in Moscow, in Los Angeles. They were right on top there, right? And I think up until Seoul Olympics in '88, I think post that was what you saw, a slight decline in the medals tally. So, but what are the negatives, you think? What are the negative points of having it? Are there any at all?
Yeah, I think just the focus was just like to improve the performance. That was the highest point what they wanted to achieve.
Yes.
And they were reckless.
Yes.
They were just reckless to reach this goal, and to achieve this goal, they didn't take care of their athlete. They took care, but okay, if you don't perform like this, okay, we have the next one. It's
I think as a child, it works a lot on the emotional aspect, and what happens if they're rejected might be a different thing then, as to how they deal with it.
It was like that they were really specialized from the beginning in the GDR. And now it's more like they widened a little bit the range, just that you have the kids here, they are playing, they're just doing something. And maybe they're doing some circuits with jumping, running, hanging, swinging, stuff like that, to experience all kinds of movements in the first place. Then you specialize.
Yeah, got it. Interesting point, because see, you said when you were doing gymnastics, you pursued gymnastics later in school, I think, as your PE. It helped you You said it helped in your physical education, doing gymnastics. How does gymnastic correlate to a child's physical development? Does it focus on fundamental movement skills and all that? And you kind of advocate gymnastics for children.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you have all movement skills that you normally perform, that you have with this kind of gymnastic, you know, because you're running, you're jumping on one leg, on both legs, you're doing things on your hand, you know, the other way around, you know, then you bring your body to the other side. Balancing. So you have everything what you need later in football, handball, hockey, cricket.
Got it.
You need anything, and then your body can remember what you have done as a kid, as a child. So it's easier for you if you have a bigger portfolio of movements. Then it's easier for you to learn new things. It's really important to have this. It's like this, if you speak 3 languages, then it's easier for you to acquire.
Yes. Well, when was this? In the year 1989, the wall came down and it became a unified Germany after that, right? So you said the sports system changed post that. Tell me a little bit about that. How did it change, and what was the effect on children's athleticism? Did it change post that, and what were the long-term effects post that?
Yeah, a bit like it was the situation that a lot of coaches were not needed anymore, because they said, okay, we don't need this system anymore because we have another system, and it's more like,
which is not compulsory, I guess.
Yeah, what is not that focused on performance the whole time. The system broke down, and it was a whole new situation for the coaches, and they were looking for new jobs because they were coaches, they were paid by the government, and now it was not the situation like this. And they were looking for new jobs, maybe in Russia, and then like what you said, like in China, because they kind of copied the system. And the French as well, in track cycling, and in the Netherlands, they have a lot of German coaches right now in track cycling. And now you can see that these nations have a lot of success because they have all the knowledge from the East Germany system, and it was a very successful system. Okay. Besides doping, but doping is another topic. But just the training system, you have to train. Either way, you take drugs or not, you have to train. And in the same way, there's no excuse. Maybe you could keep it up maybe for 10 years, but then there's also a decline in winning the medals. You can see that in the medal table at the Olympics, and the whole society changed a bit, not that we focused on sports.
For example, you in tennis, for example, those days you had Boris Becker, you had Steffi Graf, you had a whole line of top athletes in tennis at that point. Totally agree with you. So right now, what's the present model of physical education there in Germany, right now in schools?
In schools, you have, that you have, I don't know how many hours they are mandatory, but you have maybe 4 hours a week for physical education. Some of the time it depends on the school, and then it's not that much time to really educate the kids, the students, to be healthy or to learn new things. It's kind of what you have to give to the parents, because here in Germany you have this club system. You have a lot of clubs, and you can join a club, and that is more the education. And there are a lot of people are a member of a club, and then you can there stay healthy, train track and field. You can go to a soccer club or a football club, handball club. So you have a lot of clubs here in different disciplines, and that's more the physical education what you have. In school is like a kind of a direction what you get, and later the clubs are here more in have the duty to educate people. So it's, but what you also have is that if you have a good athlete and you have in special disciplines, you can be hired by the military. And in the military, you get paid from the military to be a professional athlete. Like,
I see. Yes.
Bobsledding.
Yeah.
That's a sport. You don't earn a lot of money privately, you know. Then you get paid by the military.
Yeah.
And then you can perform your sport like a professional athlete.
Got it.
You can train maybe 20 hours per week.
Yeah.
And you get your money, you know.
Yes.
But
you're funded for that then.
Yeah. But you have to be good before. You have to be announced that you are a team member of the national team, and then you can join the military and get paid.
So there is still a kind of a structure that you have. I mean, it may not be as strong as what it was with GDR, but still more or less you have something. So how are the people of Germany? Are they sports oriented? Are they health conscious, or is it gone down post unification?
Yeah, I think it's a bit divided. Here you can see in East Germany, you still see that more people are in this kind of serious sports. And in the western part, it's more about this football thing. You know, a lot of people are in football, and that's the main sport here. Because, Germany won 4 world championships. It's really big, you know, and they bring, and you can, of course, earn a lot of money. You know, and many parents think, okay, my son, my daughter can play in a big club and earn a lot of money. And that's still, we have a lot of like fitness studios where you can go. We have a lot of CrossFit boxes, and a lot of people are joining this kind of things and they like going there. But in my opinion, it's just a bit declining, this focus on sports, because you have so many things.
Options.
You got distracted, you know, with your smartphone, with the internet, this kind of thing. And it's not that much in this, that you're directed into this funnel of sports, you know?
Yes.
It's a kind of social switch.
Kind of interesting, because honestly, I was thinking this was just happening in India, and now I listen to people, in Germany. And the other day, I think listened to Christian interviewing a Canadian world champion, a gymnast, and she says her children are, kind of hooked onto social media, on their, on the gadgets. They're not training anymore. So it looks like a phenomenon across the world, and children are getting a little more, lazy, more and more lazy. And I don't know if it should be making me feel good or bad, because I thought India was the only one which was like that.
But I think it's a kind of a governmental thing, because if you just like, let me tell you some story about Great Britain. You know, they were the really bad in cycling in 1996.
Wow.
So really bad. Then decided, okay, we have the Olympics in London in 2012. We will be the best cycling nation in the world. And then the government decided, okay, we are doing this.
Yes.
We are making this happen. And then what happened? They were the best cycling nation. They won the Tour de France around 2012, you know, and they still have really good riders from Britain. And it was like a decision of the government, you know, just to change the system. As a government, you have to decide, okay, we make it like this. We want success. And if you have like stimulus like this, then athletes decide, okay, I can achieve something. I will
Yes.
do more sports,
Yes, yes. That's quite amazing, isn't it? I mean, in a matter of what, a little more than a decade, they were able to transform their and become their cyclists are some of the best in the world. And
Yeah,
if I think you and the entire sports ecosystem has changed a lot. If you see in post 2005,
yeah.
2010, so they're doing something right from the level of the government.
And it's
Yeah.
a small nation as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You tell me, you're a coach now. Yeah. What do you think the role of a coach is in getting children physically active or playing sport?
Yeah, I think coaches is it's a very important role because the students, your child, and you have this kind of be an idol, a little
Yes.
bit,
Yes.
and that they take it seriously what you are saying,
Yes.
and
Yes.
to bring them in the right direction.
Yeah. There
It's
should be a lot of
difficult.
respect as well, I guess.
Yeah,
Coach too.
respect. And what the most important thing is, as a coach, you have to make it happen that the athlete thinks, okay, I have to do this for me, not
Yes.
because of the coach, because the
Right.
coach is there and can say anything. But if you don't do it as an athlete, it's like, okay, I go here, but I I will never be really good if I don't switch like the button and say, okay, I take it seriously right now, and then it will happen, and then I will have success.
Absolutely.
It has to come from your own, and the coach has to bring you in the right direction to see
Yes.
that, to take it seriously, and be confident to reach this goal.
True. True. Okay. You are now a coach presently heading the physical education in a school in Berlin, in Germany, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you're training children in multiple sports and fitness. I guess right now, because of the situation, things would be a little different. But otherwise, what would be your day like?
Yeah, a normal day is like you have 5 to 6 hours of sports,
Hmm.
and then you have to prepare for the classes. You have different performance classes. So, and then you have uh, sometimes you have girls or boys, and then you have adapt. You cannot do always the same. And
Yeah.
then you have to do some exercises before you have the final movement.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
you have a little bit of warming up, and,
Yeah.
and then you have different topics through the different classes.
Right.
Maybe today you have like a parallel bar for the girls or parallel bar for men, and then you have to adapt or breaking it down to
Yeah.
like easy things at the first
Right.
place to the more difficult things at the end.
Yes.
That's not like boring, or it's boring. They don't know what to do. Just keep them
Yes.
in
Busy with
motion
it.
all the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
That they
Yes.
have a task, and keep them motivated, and that's really important. And then they have fun, and then if they have fun, they're learning more.
Do you
Yeah.
make fun games kind of a thing also at times?
Yeah, so maybe at the beginning you say, okay, today we have that and that topic,
Mm-hmm.
maybe throwing and bouncing the
Yeah.
ball, and then okay, we have some task that we have to work on,
Mm-hmm.
and then later we are playing.
Right.
So
Right.
if we are faster with these things, and if you are good and you follow me,
Yeah.
then we have more time for playing. And
Right.
then the kids say, oh yeah, that's good. Okay, we at the end you have a feedback round. You
Mm-hmm.
can ask the kids what's going on, what was good, what was bad, and then you get feedback from your kids, and they let you know, and they keeping a mirror in front of your face,
Yes. 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 So, do you have a curriculum for this, or you just decide what you're going to do on an everyday basis?
Yeah, we have a school curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we have also from this kind of from Berlin. We have a
Okay.
curriculum from Berlin. What you
Okay.
have to do, what you have to what the kids have to perform at the end of the year. And
Uh-huh.
so, but it's a wide range. And for the the kind of sessions we have, you have a lot of selection. So you
Right,
can
right.
choose
You
what
can
you are
choose a lot of,
doing, what
yeah,
not. Yeah. So it gives a lot of room for
right.
you as a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
process of choosing a PE teacher, is it quite strong? Do you really need to be qualified in certain areas to get into schools as a physical education teacher?
Yes. So you have to study.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're for being a physical education teacher, you have to study sports science.
Right.
And then you have the qualification to be a physical education teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So you have here, like me, I study sports science and have a diploma. And
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, you can also study sport as as a teacher. So
Right.
it's a little bit different,
Yeah.
but you with both ways you can reach your goal. To
Right.
be a physical education teacher.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
sports science.
Yeah, that's really good, because I think that makes a big difference, isn't it? The coaches being, you need
Yeah.
to have good coaches. I mean, it's as simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think my next question was the same. You have a diploma in sports science from the German Sports University, Cologne. You're a level 2 coach from the Olympic Weightlifting Association. Level C athletic coach from the Athletic Association, Cologne, Germany. That's a lot of education, right? So yeah, I just ask you the same. How important it is for coaches to educate themselves, keep them skilled up all the time? Is it important? I mean, that must be mandatory for any coach, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's like the whole life is a learning process. You can learn every day, and
Yes.
not to say I'm the best and don't tell me anything. Just like, okay, tell me what you think. What do you think about my session? And just to reflect what happened, what was positive, what was negative, and just to ask a lot of people, because a lot of people have different views on
Yes.
you and what happened. And I think education, like certificates, it's
Yeah.
important because I can learn from all the people, from other people. They have a lot of experience in different parts of sports, and
Yes.
that's really important, because every year there come up new knowledge.
Yes.
You have to keep on this. You have to be on the same page like others. Not
Yes.
like,
Yes.
what I've learned 50 years ago. It's okay. I don't need new knowledge.
Yes.
And it's good just like to hear your knowledge, what you have again, maybe from
Yes.
another
Yes.
person. And
Yes.
then you can repeat it, and then you got better. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot, but I can remember
Right.
again. And
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. So, Toby, you had experiences in various disciplines. You trained pole vaulters. You trained elite high jumpers. You trained with junior women's team, national team. I think what is that? Bobsled, the junior national
yeah,
women's team.
no, junior national women's team was handball, and
Handball.
handball and
Yeah.
bobsled was
Yes.
bobsled pusher was
Yes.
as
Yes.
well, was a male
Yeah.
athlete.
Okay. And you were in America as an intern at the University of Delaware, Newark, with athletes in
Yeah.
American football, track and field, lacrosse, hockey, tennis, soccer, and so many of them. And you're also in India. You were in Bangalore. I mean, you came here to train children, for athletic development program. You traveled a lot, and you've done a lot of stuff. What is your experience in a nutshell? What are the challenges? What did you learn?
Yeah, what I learned was like to see the different systems,
Yeah.
that the different systems work
Hmm.
in their own way.
Yeah.
In America, you have this kind of college system where you have all the athletes, and the athletes after the college, they maybe join the NFL, the NBA, or NHL. So that's a kind of very professional way, and it's a whole big system for money. What I learned there is that it's very professional, at the very early stage in
Right.
this kind of college. It's like semi-professionals.
Yes.
The young they have a media day. They are like
Yeah.
pop stars.
Yes.
Also
Yes.
in college.
Yes. Yes.
It's really different to Germany. It doesn't exist here.
Yes.
This kind of thing. And that's what you can see later at the Olympics. There are still this kind of athletes you have at the college, and they join a club, and then later they are good Olympians at the
Yes.
Olympics.
Yes.
Because you have this kind of system. And
That's fantastic, right? I mean, when you said that they're quite well known in college, I read somewhere that their baseball players are so famous even before they enter the American team, in college, and they get crowds of up to 100,000 people watching a baseball match for a collegiate championship.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like sometimes they play in college, like football players, American football players, for more people than in the NFL, because at the college they have bigger stadiums. It's just like, what are you talking about? And then it's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's another world when it comes to sports. That's why I was so interested to going over there and to see what's going on in the US. That's because it's you have to say that's the number one nation in sports.
Yes.
And China is completely different. They have this kind of system in the GDR. And India, I think India is sometimes they have really good athletes, really good athletes, like badminton players or javelin thrower as well. They're really good athletes. They win medals, gold medals, silver medals at the Olympics, and then there's a real big gap.
Yes, it's either there or here.
There's there's so big potential, because sometimes I think they are just focused on cricket and hockey, and
not even hockey
what about
anymore.
Track and field? Not anymore. Not like this. Unfortunately,
So I remember you were here and you trained a lot of children here, and there's a particular that kind of put a question mark. There must be something which you were training kids in one of the places, and you found out that a lot of these kids were just not interested in the program, but they had signed up for it. And I remember you asking, why do kids just sign up for a program if they really don't want to do it? That's a kind of a that I think kind of explains the whole problem, right? Why would a child be put in a training program for whatever it is, athletics or any kind of discipline, and the child is not interested, which means the parents have just said, go ahead and participate in this, and the child doesn't show any interest. Is this something which you also encounter something like this in Germany, or is it very clear cut? I mean, when children come into something, they know why they're there.
No, you have also this phenomenon at school. Here a lot of people or pupils, they go to school because they have to, but they're not really interested. So you can see that, and it's like the parents have to say, okay, go to the club. Okay, here it's mandatory from the government that you have to go to school. Okay, but some people say they don't care about it. They don't want to learn anything, and that's what you can see sometimes. With the kids, but I think there's a change when they got older. And when they know, okay, I really learned something for myself, and they are more interested in it. It's really good, and you have to reach the kids in different ways, and sometimes you have 30 kids or you have 20 kids. Some kids are visual, more haptic, more learning about doing it.
True.
It's difficult, and then you have to weigh that you have an interesting session for the pupils, because an adult person told me any session is interesting because I'm interested in, but but kids, they think not like this. You know,
Yes,
they
yes,
they want fun, they want doing
yes,
something, and you have more to perform. You know,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
know,
difficult.
I know. Yeah, so yeah, well, children are looking. I think they're more and more getting a little more unathletic, uh, stuck with social media, gadgets, not much time, not much ground time. At least in India, that's the case. First of all, there's no space. I mean, the playgrounds are vanishing here because there are buildings coming up, and
Mm,
parents are getting really busy. No time for children to actually go and attend a sports class or any kind of sport or athletics or whatever it is. The school system is not great in terms of having a proper structure in this. Yeah, I think there needs a lot to be done here. What do you think? How do you have any ideas? We are slipping back. See, look, for
yeah,
example, in Germany or in Europe or in America, whatever, you may have fallen down, but you were already up there and you're slipping down. But in India's
mm,
case, we are already here and we can't go further down, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I
there
know.
has to be a boost here, right? Yeah.
I think what I mentioned before is like, yeah, the boost should come from the government. You know,
Yes.
there should be something coming from the government to say, okay, we have a really big public, or we have a lot of inhabitants here in India,
Yeah.
and we should find a way. And the influence from the West
Yes.
is bigger and bigger, and you
Yes.
see we have more diseases, severe injuries because of they getting bigger. You know, the kids, they are not that athletic, and we have a lot of issues when it comes to health. You know,
Yes. Yes.
and that's a cost factor, a really big
Absolutely.
cost factor, and you have to fight against it at a really early stage, and you have to
Yes.
find a way to do something. Okay,
Yes.
you can do for your own something, you can find kids, but that's a really small
Small.
space what you can
Yes.
cover, you know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
there should be a big movement. What's going on?
Yeah.
The prime minister should find a solution for this
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
It's a really
Yes.
big problem, and
And people
then
should participate. Parents should take a
yeah,
initiative. Yeah.
and you have to find time, you know,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
we are people, we are movement animals, you know. We
Yes.
have to move, and if we are not moving, we get sick. So
Yes. Yes.
it's a
Absolutely.
normal
Absolutely.
formula.
Your nation's health index depends on how active and fit your children are.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right,
Yes.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mandatory. It should be
Absolutely.
for
Yeah.
anyone. It's like
Yeah.
you see the influence of the Western world in China, and they have
Yeah.
a increase in diseases. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, and
They have
Western
increase in
companies.
diseases.
Yeah, they get, you know, the people, they got fatter. You know, more fats. You know, they,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's why, because of McDonald's, the Western
Yes.
companies, they try
Yeah.
to sell their product over
Yep.
there,
Yep.
and people are the same all over the world. You know, they got
Yes.
addicted to products, and then
Absolutely.
they got lazy, and that's a really big problem.
Yes.
And
Yes. I see that. Absolutely. Okay, Toby, your final question here. What would be your one advice as a coach? You're a coach. You are an athlete. You're an athlete from a very progressive country. I mean, in terms of sports, fitness, and a lot of countries looked up to Germany. What would be advice for Indian parents, Indian children, in terms of pursuing fitness or sports or whatever?
yeah, just try to bring your kid to just to a club, or just like a to you know, that they can experience like movement, and just try it, and then maybe it's not for your kid. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not interested in, but you have to try, because if you try it with any kid in India, then you have a lot of kids there.
Yes.
They keep on track, you know.
Yes.
They
Yes.
will be into sports, and that's beneficial for their whole life. A lot of people just see, okay, he has to be on the computer and to do this thing and this thing, but that is two-dimensional. But we are three-dimensional human beings.
Yes.
You know, and
yes.
That's important. Trial and error. You know?
Yes. Totally agree with you. Good, Toby. It was such a pleasure. I mean, our conversations on this. I think we could have another couple of hours, and we still probably can talk about this.
Yeah, definitely.
But then, I think we've covered enough. We've spoken on a lot of topics, and thank you so much. You have so much. You have so much of knowledge. You have so much of experience coming from a country where. This is a lifestyle. People look at this as a thing to be a normal thing, as you're growing up, and you shared a lot of information. It was such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Toby.
Thank you, Ram. I appreciate that. And thank you for having me. Yeah.
My pleasure always. I'll talk to you soon and take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye now.